Hard to believe, but tax season is here and you've got just under 3 months to file your taxes. And things look a little different this year compared to last. So of course we want to help you navigate the process. And to do so, we have two tax experts here with us today. We have Ryan Dodson from Liberty Tax, and then we also have Kevin Robinson from Robinson Tax Service. For the next 15 minutes, they're going to be answering your tax questions, and here's how you can get those to our experts. All you have to do is text this number on your screen right now. That is 336-379-5775. Please text us at that number. You cannot call it. First off, I just want to say thank you guys both for joining us. Of course, tax season underway. It's a big deal, but a lot of changes. So thank you both for joining us. And first off, the big question for everyone, when are taxes due this year?
Well, this year, taxes are actually due on April the 18th, Stacy. So we get a few extra days, mainly because Emancipation Day is celebrated in Washington, D.C. And because of that, it's being celebrated on Friday, April the 15th this year. And because of that, we get all the way until Monday, April the 18th this year.
And it started Monday. So, Kevin, maybe you could answer this question. The North Carolina Department of Revenue says that they won't process returns until next month. So why did they make that decision?
Well, Stacey, it was actually some late passed legislation in the state budget, and therefore I just found that out this week too, and even talked to someone in the North Carolina Department of Revenue. So it will be around the middle of February before they actually process returns. It's possible, depending on the updates to the software providers, that you may be able to e-file the state return with the federal, but it'll be mid-February, and they really haven't set a date just yet when they will start processing e-file state returns. So it's really a legislative snafu, or really a late date of all that being approved, that has kind of put us behind the 8 ball, so to speak, in this state-filed e-filed returns.
And I know a lot has been said about COVID causing some delays on this as well, right?
Yes, in fact, I was just reading recently the IRS is, believe it or not, still processing some 2020 returns. It's hard to believe, but they were impacted by COVID just like many of us, were short-staffed and kind of got behind in all the COVID-related programs that the IRS was helping to process those stimulus payments and things. That was kind of overwhelming as well. So they're still, I guess you say, digging out from that, and that's kind of making things behind. And as Ryan knows, the last 2 seasons we've had extended deadlines on July 15th and then like May 15th, I think, this past year. So COVID's played a role to kind of extend out tax season and filing and so forth.
Yeah, and Ryan, we talked about this earlier this week that millions of Americans received the child tax credit payments last year. So what does that mean for people when they start to file their taxes this year?
So when you file your tax return this year, what the IRS is having you do is to reconcile those payments, those advanced child tax payments that you received, in 6 monthly payments earlier this year. It should total up to about half of the child tax credit. Your child tax credit, depending upon the age of your child and your income level, will be $3,600 if they're under 5, or $3,000 otherwise. But you should have gotten about half of that already. And when you file your tax return, you're going to get the other half.
And I guess we can just piggyback off of each other. But what kind of returns can people expect if they donated to charity this past year?
So if they donate to charity, what's great about it is that you're still able to deduct up to $600 on your tax return. It is considered an above the line deduction. So regardless of your income, regardless of whether or not you're itemizing your deductions, like deducting your home mortgage interest, you're able to at least claim some of those charitable deductions on your tax return.
And there's information on your screen right now about those donations. A lot of people also received stimulus checks early last year. What do people need to know about how that impacts their filing this year?
Well, Stacey, in fact, this is a sort of round 3 of the stimulus checks. There were 2 stimulus checks to reconcile on the 2020 return, with the latter part coming in January 2021. But the third stimulus came out from March 2021 through December. So that's going to be reconciled on the 2021 return. And it typically was right around $1,400 per individual, 28 a couple, and for eligible dependents, $1,400. But there was a letter to go out from the IRS, 6475, entitled "Your Third Stimulus Payment." They should get and they should reconcile it with their records to make sure. But typically it should wash out on the return, but if they're due more credit, recovery rebate credit, line 30, the return, then the difference of that in their stimulus payment, they may get an additional credit, which would increase their refund, or typically most cases it does wash out.
Well, we are already getting a lot of questions texted into us, but we're going to go to break really quick. You can keep texting us. That number is 336-379-5775. We'll be right back.